Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be speaking about the idea of how can we magnetize our dreams. The idea that humans have magnetic potential is an ancient and eternal idea. At the same time, it is a refreshing idea and it's at the forefront of a lot of different techniques and strategies that are being used in the field of human transformation. I wanted to speak about the idea that we can magnetize our dreams based on my research and work with different people and the kinds of results that we've been able to achieve by working on the notion that we can exponentially improve our magnetic potential by letting go of all the things that come in the way of the power of our magnet. So today I wanted to introduce to you a few assumptions that I work with, which create a different kind of reality for those of us who are working with these assumptions. And assumptions is something as old as science itself. For example, the normal curve on the basis of which a lot of statistics is taken for granted is itself an assumption. So I use the word assumption here with quite a lot of respect, and I want to introduce to you the three assumptions that enable the improvement of the human capacity to magnetize our dreams. So first of all, I want to talk about the assumption that
If we choose love over fear,
then we improve our magnetic potential. When we are in a state of fear, we often are also in a state of hatred, because some people say that love is the opposite of fear. Some others also say that love is the opposite of indifference, and some further others say that love has no opposite. However, in everyday interactions with people, when we notice the absolute power that fear can have over us, and this fear can be quite disabling, it can cripple our capacity to truly be there for another person. So whenever we are able to challenge our fear and overcome it with an act of compassion, kindness, or loving exchange with another human being, then we improve our magnetic potential. Okay, so that's the first assumption. The second assumption is, when we are willing to let go of the notion that we are full of lack, we improve our magnetic potential. So in this, a lot of us, because of our growing up experiences and because of the various systems that we are part of, we grow up really experiencing that there is a lack in us, that we may not be worthy enough, or that we may not have enough of whatever it takes to allow us to become worthy. Now, when we assume that we need to let go of any feelings of lack, then we assume that worthiness is a gift granted to us purely on account of being human. And this worthiness is universal. So it means actually that we cannot compare ourselves to another human being. They are worthy in their own right, and we are worthy in our own right. And this takes us to a place beyond judgment. It takes us to a place of acceptance. And this understanding that there is no lack also invites us to think of the ways in which we will meet our needs differently. So, for example, when we think of the resources in the universe as being limited, then we think that when we want something, or we want to have something, or we want to take care of a lack, we need to be fighting with others to get what we want. But in this assumption, I'm inviting you to step into the possibility that we do not need to fight with anybody else to have our needs met. That when we are seeking human worthiness, it's not the same as fighting for a slice of pizza. And it's not that there is one giant pizza which all of us human beings are fighting for. When you are clear of your own worthiness, the pizza that is right for you will arrive. And it will not be a fight with others or a slice of pizza. It'll be your pizza to have. So this is the second assumption I would like to invite you into. The third assumption is you have to be willing to see what is good in the world. Now, this is a really important one as well, because when we are able to focus on what is good in the world, then we are able to magnify that, because we are also able to commit to being part of that world which is willing to do good. Now, here there's a lot in our training and education that is geared towards enabling us to become critical thinkers. And critical thinking happens on the basis of certain assumptions, which are social theories. And we have enough, research evidence to recommend to us that that paints the picture of absolute truths. But in this assumption, I'm inviting you to go beyond the three-dimensional research and evidence-based research, and to move and work with the notion that the human experience, no matter which social category we may belong to, also functions at this subtle realm where things are not of a dense nature. And that experiences and attributes can be cultivated in us which are not of the same kind of presence as a commodity is. So in this, when we say that we should be willing to see what is good in the world, it is inviting us again to move beyond judgment and to accept the reality of things as they are, but yet to see, is there anything good that we are able to see in the way that life is organized today? It doesn't mean that we give up our commitment to freedom or to better work policies for everybody or better life standards for everybody, but it does mean that we also continue to look at what is there in the world that is good and how can we contribute to making more of that, right? So these are the three assumptions. I'll just wrap it up again. 1, choose love over fear. 2, allow yourself to not participate in the economy of lack. Okay. 3, be willing to see what is good in the world, right? Now, if we start living with these assumptions, the chances are that we will begin to experience different kinds of possibilities every day. But in order to really bring out the true potential of these assumptions, there are a few other things also that we need to do. 1, we need to work on our self-awareness. We need to accept things about us which are, the shadow and the light aspects, things about us which are good, and things about us that could do with a bit of challenging on our end. And these things which we need to challenge are of two types. 1, all the things that have happened in our life that have given us a negative experience of living, we need to be able to let go of them. So this entails that we should be able to truly forgive, truly move on from whatever negative experiences we may have had in our lives. And the second parallel aspect is we must be willing to let go of what is negative in the way we interact with others. So whether it is greed, envy, whether it is jealousy, or the feeling that we should be able to damage somebody else in order to gain something from their damage. So the idea is that what is not good for somebody else is not going to be good for you either. So wishing for good, focusing on the good for yourself and for the others is absolutely critical, because your magnet, if it is full of the negatives, negative intentions for others, then your magnet is going to be full of repulsive qualities, and it's not going to be able to attract what it is that you wish to draw to yourself. And lastly, of course, very often we are all very aware of what it is we do not want, right? But in order to truly magnetize our dreams, we need to become crystal clear about what it is that we do want, so that we move towards the attributes, the intentions, and the qualities that we desire in our lives, rather than arranging our life in a way that is meant to separate us from what it is we do not desire. So it's like that doesn't help your magnet, whereas this really does. I'm just going to summarize what it is we talked about. So, the first thing we talked about is that we have magnetic potential as human beings, and that these can be grown in us if we are willing to abide by three assumptions. One, that we choose love over fear. Second, that we choose to not participate in an economy of lack, but we recognize that our needs will be met and that we are worthy and that we will receive. And third, that we should be willing to see what is good in the world. And following on from that, I talked about how if we are willing to let go of our negative experiences as well as our negative intentions and desires for others, then we are able to magnetize our dreams further. So, I want to end with the idea that in magnetizing our dreams, it's not that we will not have negative experiences. People may still want to tarnish us, they may still get into conflicts with us, and it may be something in their life that demands it from them. But we need to realize that even if we have given our best to somebody and we do not receive the best from them, life may still bring it to us in another way. That all our equations don't have to be equal, and yet life can be abundantly beautiful. So, with these ideas, I want to bring this video to a close. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope that you will have lots of questions and queries that we can exchange ideas on. Thank you.